So right here we have a Graptopetalum Paraguayense. It's also called a ghost plant, and I let it get really sad looking over the winter. It's super leggy, it's all stretched out. You can tell that all of this growth right here, all the leaves are super spread out, whereas this growth right here, the leaves are nice and compact. And that's really what we want for a healthy, strong plant. And so what we're gonna do is take this over to the propagation tray, pull a bunch of these leaves off on all 3 of the heads, chop the stems, and repot. All right, first things first, we're gonna pull some of these leaves off. So there are gonna be a few towards the bottom that aren't probably going to be very viable leaves. That one in particular, very clearly no longer a viable leaf. It is very dead. There's a few on the bottom that are a little sad. We're gonna stick them in the propagation tray anyway, because, man, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you never know which one of these leaves is gonna give you an amazing new plant and which one of these leaves is gonna be a dud. So we'll just toss them all in there. That one's really weird. That one's small and round and was like right next to this one. That's really weird. Okay, and on the plant, maybe kind of hard to see. On the plant, you can see there's like kind of a clear point where it starts to, where we get that compaction that we like. And so I'm basically just taking all of the leaves up to that point. Okay, so now we have a nice clean stem and a pretty compact rosette right here. So I'm just gonna toss all of these in the propagation tray, and let them do their thing. And we will have many, many, many ghost plants to come. All right, we'll do the same with these over here, get some cleanup going. So this leaf is pretty dried up. It's hard to tell in the video. It's pretty dried up. It's very close to being dead. Still gonna toss it in the tray though, just in case. All right, this one's too far gone, for sure. Okay, and I'm gonna take that one off the bottom. Okay, so we got those off the mediumest of the heads. Okay, and then on this one, I'm just gonna take these 3, I think. Oh, there's a 4th one underneath. That one didn't wanna come. Okay, there we go, toss them in. Hopefully we'll get some very nice, beautiful plants out of those. Okay, so now I have a choice. I can either pull this whole thing out of the pot and basically trash the root ball or throw the root ball into my, my propagation tray, or I can cut these stems about how long I want the new plants to be and then leave these other stems in here. I am gonna make the choice to leave them. A few years ago, Pugsley, when I first got this plant, Pugsley walked by and bonked the head off of it, and I was devastated. I thought, oh great, there goes my ghost plant. And what ended up happening is it sprouted like that empty stem sprouted 4 new plants, which I have out in the yard somewhere. So we're gonna definitely leave these stems planted, and we're gonna plant these new heads, or these the heads that we currently have. We're gonna plant these in the same pot and hope that this just becomes nice and full. Okay, so I wanna leave enough stem that I have some stability in the soil and I have something to stick down into the soil, but I don't wanna leave so much that we're cramming a ton of stem into the soil, leaving opportunities for rot and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go about right here, okay? Because this was such an established plant, we have a lot of like wet alive business going on right here. So we're actually, before we cram them back into this pot, we're going to let these sit out. Ooh, it's very blurry. We're gonna let these sit out for a day or 2 and let this callus over and get dry so that, again, we're not promoting rot when we push this back into the soil. Okay. There's number 2. And number 1, or number 3. So yeah, sometimes I will stick things straight back into the soil, and at other times I will not. It really depends on the plant and what's coming up. We have a storm coming up, and while these do pretty well compared to other succulents with lots of rain, I don't want to push my luck. I'd like to make sure that these stay safe. So I'm not going to push them back into the pot until the edges here, the bottoms that I've cut, have time to heal. Okay, and I'm gonna leave this looking all janky and ridiculous. It's gonna be great. Okay, so we're back out here one day later, and ooh, let's see if we can, yeah, the ends have calloused over really nicely. They've dried up. They're a lot less juicy than they were yesterday. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get them popped into the planter. I also did some other cuttings yesterday as well. Okay, once again, we're working this one-handed, but if you remember from earlier, this is our pot with our long leggy stems on it. We're hoping that it will grow new plants. That's why we're leaving the stem there. And ooh, this may not be possible to do one-handed right now, because that is some tough soil to get through. Ooh. All right. Okay, it took some finagling, but I got them all three in here. You can kind of see. And normally, directly after repotting, I would not water most succulents. I would give it another day or so. But these guys are really sturdy and don't tend to be too sensitive. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and give them a drink. It's supposed to rain today, but we have clear blue skies and I'm just not seeing it. So I'm gonna give them a little drink, make sure the water runs out the bottom, and they should start settling in real nicely.